Hi, welcome to Albury Brothers Boats. I'm Jeff Lichterman, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the design of our bottoms and our boats. But before I get there, just let me give you the lay of the land. You know, it's April, and we're trying to get a lot of boats out on the water for our customers. So what you see to my left are two Aquamist 23s that we completed final punch list and detailing yesterday. One's going to Miami, and the other one's going to the west coast of Florida. We also have a beautiful Bahama Blue 23 that just came out of our assembly bay, and we have a white 23 in the background that's going up to Massachusetts once it gets through our rigging department. On the over my other shoulder, we have a 20 that we just sea trialed today, and we're doing the final punch list on. It's going to San Francisco, and a couple of 27s. One's local, one's going up to the Hamptons in New York, and that's in our rigging bay where the console and the electronics are about to go in. So follow me, let's take a look at some of the elements of our design. To understand the Albury Brothers hull design, you really need to know where it came from. For over 30 years, Willard Albury and his sons built wooden boats. And there's an essential roundness that comes with wood boats that characteristic was never lost in the fiberglass boat. Over my shoulder we have a 20, which is closest in our design to the wood boat era. And you can see a lot of roundness in the bottom. Round bilges. You know, you don't get flat sections with wood. Wood, you bend planks over frames, so everything's round. And round gives you an essentially soft ride, easy re-entry. An Albury Brothers boat really is two distinct hulls. Weight and balance are critical to making both hull forms work. In the bow, it's a very fine entry below the waterline, and the weight is centered in the boat. It keeps that fine entry in the water, slicing through the chop. Above the water plane, the maximum beam is forward, and it's very full. And that gives you room in the boat, but maybe more importantly, it gives you reserve buoyancy. So you don't have a tendency to bury the bow or spear a wave. That fullness carries you up and over a wave. As we go towards the back of the boat, you can see the round bilge as it continues down the back. That is important when you're jumping big ocean waves and you re-enter. And when you re-enter on those soft shoulders, there's just nothing to slap or slam. It's just a nice soft kind of squish. As we move over to the 23s, you see these same characteristics. The fine entry, fullness above the waterline. Also notice the keel. That exists in the 20, 23, 27, all our boats. It's a holdover from the wood boat days, but it does a couple great things. Keeps you tracking straight. You can hands off an Albury Brothers boat, and she'll hunt around a little bit, but essentially she's self-correcting. Also, when you're at the dock, she doesn't have the kind of windage that other boats have, that just the bow blows down and it's very hard around a dock. She's kind of locked in. Lastly, when she rolls, it's a steadying influence. She doesn't continually to roll. She kind of goes one way and halfway the other, and just kind of bobs like a cork after that. Transitioning from bow to stern, you can see how the hull starts flattening out about halfway back. It ends up in a 17-degree dead rise. But you know, dead rise isn't the whole story. When many people think 24-degree dead rise means the boat rides well, but that's only half the story. The other half is, where's the weight in the boat? Boats with deep V 24 degrees have weight as far aft as possible, because the idea is to get the whole hull up on top of the water and have very little friction and very little resistance, and the boat just kind of skimming along the tops of the waves. And that's why you have to have the dead rise aft, so it's cutting back there. Since the Albury does her cutting up here, we can have a more moderate V in the back, which provides stability and lift, so you can plane at low speeds. So an essential ingredient is our weight and distribution of that weight. The fuel tank is in the center of the boat, and that center of gravity keeps the front and the back, the front in the water instead of all the weight, being aft. Secondly, the weight's low in the Albury. The bottom of the boat is solid glass, hand laid, and it's essential to build up all that weight and all that mass down low. In fact, our boats ride even better when they're full of fuel and water and people. The heavier you can get down low, the better she's going to go through the waves. Above the chine, she's cord composite, quite modern. We use Corcel, 1708 biax, and we get a lot of strength without a lot of weight, because weight up high just heightens the center of gravity. We want to keep it down low and have that mass down there. So from this angle, you can really see how the modified V, the round bilges, and the chines all come together. Some of the characteristics which are great about this ride is she comes up on a plane very easily and at low speed, about 17 miles an hour. And that's great when the seas are rough and you just can't keep the speed up to maintain a plane. Also, she's very stable on the drift. It goes down sea beautifully. So, this hull is a moderate hull. It's not optimized for going up sea and ahead sea, high speed out to the canyons. It's not optimized to burn the flats and go as shallow as can be. But for all-around moderation, it's really tough to beat. When Willard Albury built this beautiful and voluminous 27-footer in 2006, he didn't depart from his philosophy at all. You can see the fine entry, you can see the keel, you can see the essential roundness as the bilges turn aft. He went a little bit deeper in the V on this. Of course, it's a much bigger boat offshore, and it feels very much like the 23, but you're going about 10 miles an hour faster. She's got a lot of weight in the bottom and just a fantastic ride.